Once upon a time, in a small town nestled in the rolling hills of the countryside, there lived a family of 4 parents, Peter and Emily, and their 2 children, little Tommy and his older sister, Lily. Tommy's birthday was fast approaching, and Emily wanted to make it extra special for him. She decided to hire a clown, who went by the name Bubbles, to perform at the party. Bubbles was the talk of the town, and everyone had only good things to say about him. On the day of the party, Bubbles arrived on time and started entertaining the children with his antics. He made balloon animals, did magic tricks, and even performed a few stunts that left the kids in awe. The party was a huge success, and everyone had a great time. As the party came to an end, Bubbles packed up his things and left. However, that night, strange things started to happen in the house. Tommy woke up in the middle of the night, screaming that he saw Bubbles in his room. Emily tried to calm him down, but he was inconsolable. Over the next few days, the family started to experience more and more unexplainable events. The TV would turn on by itself, objects would move on their own, and the family would hear strange noises coming from the basement. Peter tried to rationalize everything, saying that it was just their imagination playing tricks on them, but Emily knew that something wasn't right. One day, Lily found an old newspaper article from years ago that detailed a tragic incident that happened at the town's old circus. The article mentioned a clown named Bubbles who had gone missing and was presumed dead. It was believed that Bubbles had cursed the circus and that it was forced to shut down soon after. The family realized that the clown they had hired was not the real Bubbles, but an imposter who had somehow summoned the spirit of the real Bubbles. They decided to investigate further and found out that the clown had stolen an old box from the circus and brought it to their house. With the help of a local historian, they were able to perform a ritual that would break the curse and banish the spirit of Bubbles. The family learned a valuable lesson about the dangers of dabbling with things they didn't understand, and they vowed to never hire a clown for a birthday party again. As the family performed the ritual, they could feel a heavy weight lift from their home. They knew that the curse had been lifted, and Bubbles' spirit had been banished from their home. Over the next few days, the family felt a renewed sense of peace in their home. They were no longer afraid to go to bed at night or walk down to the basement to do laundry. The children started to play and laugh again, and Emily and Peter were grateful to have their happy home back. However, there was still one more thing to be done. The family knew that they needed to return the old box to the circus, where it belonged. They drove to the old abandoned circus, and as they approached, they could feel a strange energy in the air. The circus was still and silent, and the only sound was the rustling of leaves in the wind. As they approached the old box office, they noticed that the door was slightly ajar. The family hesitated for a moment, but they knew that they had to return the box. As they walked through the door, they saw a strange figure in the shadows. They gasped as they realized that it was the real Bubbles, the clown who had gone missing so many years ago. Bubbles approached them slowly, and the family could see the sadness and pain in his eyes. They knew that he was the real victim in this situation, cursed to roam the earth for all eternity. However, they also knew that they had to return the box and break the curse. With trembling hands, the family placed the box on the ground and performed the same ritual that they had used in their own home. As they finished, they saw the spirit of Bubbles start to dissipate into the air. They knew that the curse had been lifted for good, and Bubbles' spirit was finally at peace. The family left the circus feeling a sense of closure and resolution. They had been through a terrifying experience, but they had come out the other side stronger and more united. They knew that they would never forget the lessons they had learned, and they vowed to never take anything for granted in life again. As they drove away from the old circus, the family breathed a sigh of relief. They had finally put the curse of Bubbles the clown to rest, and they could move on with their lives. However, as they drove through the town, they noticed that something was different. People looked at them differently, whispering to each other as they passed by. It was as if they were no longer accepted in the town, as if they had brought something evil with them. The family tried to ignore it, but it was hard. Everywhere they went, they could feel the eyes of the townspeople on them, judging them silently. They didn't know what to do, but they knew that they couldn't go on like this forever. One day, as they were walking through the town, they heard a familiar voice calling out to them. It was Bubbles, the clown. They were startled, but they knew that he meant them no harm. Bubbles explained that the curse had affected the town as well, and that they needed to perform one final ritual to break it for good. The family was hesitant at first, but they knew that Bubbles was telling the truth. They followed him to the old abandoned circus, where they found a group of townspeople waiting for them. They were scared, but they knew that they had to do this. Together, they performed the ritual, and they could feel the curse lift from the town. The townspeople started to smile again, and the family felt a weight lift from their shoulders. They knew that they had finally put the curse of Bubbles the clown to rest, and that they could finally move on with their lives. As they left the old circus for the final time, the family looked at each other and smiled. They knew that they had been through something incredible, something that had brought them closer together. They would never forget the lessons they had learned, and they would always cherish the memories of their haunted birthday party.